In the previous video, I showed you the case that we had a linked list which had unsorted elements in it, and we wanted to get rid of all of the duplicate nodes. We're gonna do the same thing, but this time we're not allowed to use any temporary buffer. The way that we tackle the problem is with this pseudocode. What this pseudocode needs is a current pointer, a previous, and also a runner. I'll explain what each of these mean as we solve the problem. Let's look at the code. The first line of the code, the big while loop, checks if we have not gone over the linked list. We have not reached the end of the linked list. So while current is not equal to null. So that's what this big while loop does. And then inside of it, we set runner to head each time that we go through this while loop. Then the next while loop that we have inside of this big while loop is runner is not equal to current. So you're going to increase this runner from the head until wherever the current is to check for duplicates. And then previous is going to be a mark that we say before this previous node, all of the things are already checked and there are no duplicates in them. So let's get started with the code. We set runner equal to head, and then current and previous are also equal to head before we even execute this while loop. Then while runner is not equal to current, in this case in the beginning runner and current are equal. So I'm going to get out of this while loop, go to this if statement at the end of the while loop. It says runner and current are equal. So runner and current are equal. We're going to execute the statements inside of this if statement. Previous equal to current. So previous is going to be equal to the current. It is already. Then current is going to be set to the next element. So current is going to move to the next node. Then we go to the beginning of the while loop again. So we haven't reached the end of the linked list. We set runner equal to head, and then while runner is not equal to current, we're gonna execute these statements. So each time that we go through this while loop, each time that we want to go from the head of the linked list to this current, we're going to check if we have any duplicate. So this statement, run data is equal to current data, is going to check for duplicates. So in this case, we don't have any duplicate yet. We're going to go to this else statement. Else statements tell us to move our runner to the next node. So runner is going to be now here. When we go back to the inside while loop, we're going to see that runner and current are pointing at the same node. So in that case, we're gonna get out of this while loop and go to this if statement. Are runner and current equal to each other? We say yes, they are equal to each other. They're looking at the same node. Their pointers are the same. So the previous is gonna be reset to the current's position. So the previous is gonna reset to be at the current's position, and current is gonna move to its next node. So current is gonna move to here. Then you're gonna go to the beginning of the big for loop and set the runner to be at the head of the linked list. Then you check again if the runner and current have the same data. They don't, so you're gonna move your runner, and then you're going to check again. They don't have the same data. You're going to move your runner again. In this case, runner and current are at the same position, so this while loop terminates, and we go to this if statement. Runner and current, as we said, are looking at the same node. In this case, we move the previous to current's position, and we're going to move this current to the next node. So current is going to go here. And we're going to go to the beginning of the big while loop. We're going to set this this runner to the head. We check the data. They don't match, so there is no duplicate there. We increment this runner to here. Now the data of runner and current are equal. which means that there is a duplicate. In the case of the duplicate, we're gonna execute the code inside of this if statement. This if statement is saying that put the previous dot next, so put the this pointer pointing at current dot next. So current dot next is gonna be this 2, and previous dot next is gonna point at current dot next. So what you have done here effectively is that you have gotten rid of the connection between previous and current. So this node is gonna just go away. We don't have any access to it because it's a single linked list. And then you're gonna say that current is gonna be equal to current.next. So you're gonna move this current to current.next. Okay? And then break out of this while loop. When we break out of this while loop, we're gonna execute this if statement. And if this if statement is not going to be true because runner and current are not pointing at the same node, so you're going to go to the beginning of the big while loop. You set the runner to be at the beginning of the linked list again, and then while runner is not equal to current, you're going to move this runner to the next and next and next node until you either find a duplicate, which you're gonna resolve the issue, and if you don't find the duplicate, you're gonna just move on until you hit the current. So in this case, you don't find a duplicate because the R doesn't have the same data as current, so you're gonna move your runner to the next node. Now the data of runner is 5, the data of current is 2, so there is no duplicate yet. Then you go to the next node. Now the data in the current and data in the runner is equal to each other. So current and runner have the same data, which means there is a duplicate. In this case, you're gonna say that previous.next is equal to current.next. So previous.next is gonna be this pointer. So you delete this pointer and you point it to current.next. So this pointer now is gonna be looking at current.next. Current.next is going to be this node 8. Okay, so you point previous.next to be at current, and then current is going to move to the next node. So current is going to now look at this node 8. Okay, so again, what you have done so far is to get rid of this 2, and you say, okay, this was a duplicate, so I don't have any pointer to it anymore. So this is gone. And now you break out of this while statement, you go to this if statement. Runner and current are not looking at the same node, so you're going to go to the beginning of this big while loop, and at the beginning you say that runner is going to be at the runner is going to be set at the head of the linked list. Then you check the data, they're not equal, you move on. There, you check the data, they are not equal, you move on. You check the data, they are not equal, you're gonna move on to the next node, which is gonna be this 8. And now you check to see if runner and current are looking at the same thing. They have the same pointer. Their pointers look at the same node, and you say, okay, their pointers are looking at the same node. So I'm gonna get out of this while loop and check this if statement. This if statement says that if runner and current are at the same node. So in this case, they are at the same node. What you will do is to move this previous to the position of current. So previous now is gonna look at here, and current is gonna look at the next node. But here, current is gonna reach this null. Then when you go to the beginning of this big while loop to check if you have reached the end of the linked list, you will say, oh yeah, I have reached the end of the linked list, and current now is pointing at this null at the end of the linked list. So it's where you get out of this big while loop, and then you're gonna return the linked list that you have found so far. So the linked list that you have found is 10 is looking at 5 is looking at 2, and then 2 is not looking at 5 anymore because you don't have this connection anymore. 2 is looking at 8, and then 8 is looking at null. And this is the linked list that you're gonna return as your answer. We didn't use any buffer, we just used 3 pointers to keep track of what we're doing. So again, the pointer P was looking at the node that before that node everything was already without duplicates. Current is gonna go over everything, and then runner is gonna go between the beginning of the linked list, the head of the linked list, and current, and that way you can get rid of all of the duplicates.